Imagine you are walking down a quiet path on a peaceful morning. Suddenly, someone steps in front of you and speaks harsh words that cut deep. How would you feel? Would you want to shout back? Or would you try to stay calm? What if those words followed you like a shadow for the rest of your day? Imagine carrying that pain inside you, feeling heavy and restless. Now, what if there was a way to let go of that hurt quickly and gently without letting it weigh you down? Have you ever wondered why some people seem to rise above hurt and anger, while others stay trapped in bitterness for years? What is the secret they hold? And what if the answer isn't in fighting back or pretending not to care, but in a simple practice taught thousands of years ago? Could it be possible to heal the pain from someone's harsh words or actions by changing what happens inside your own heart? Think about the last time someone hurt you. How did you react? Did your mind replay those words again and again? Did your body tense up, your chest tighten? What if you could break free from that cycle? What if you could learn to protect your peace and find a calm space inside, no matter what others do? This video will share some gentle wisdom from Buddhist teachings that can help you do exactly that. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we share timeless insights to help you find peace and happiness in everyday life. If you're ready to change the way you respond to pain, stay with us. You will discover powerful ideas that anyone can use, especially when life feels hard and people around you hurt you without meaning to. Remember to like this video if it speaks to your heart, comment below to share your thoughts, and please share it with someone who might need this today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss the rest of this journey. And here is a small request. Please drop down your thoughts in the comments and write Namo Buddhaya to remind us all to stay positive and peaceful till the very end of this video. Now let us begin by understanding why we feel hurt so deeply when someone causes us pain. The truth is, pain is often a reaction to the story we tell ourselves about what happened. When someone hurts us, our mind quickly labels it as an attack or injustice. But what if we could pause and see it differently? Buddhism teaches us that pain itself is natural, but suffering comes when we cling to it or feed it with anger and resentment. This means we can choose how to respond, even to the most painful moments. When we hold on to hurt, it grows inside like a fire. It consumes our energy and peace. But when we let go, even just a little, that fire begins to cool. The first step is noticing our feelings without rushing to push them away or drown them in blame. Being honest with ourselves about our hurt is the start of healing. This is not weakness. It is a brave act of kindness towards ourselves. So, in this video, you will learn a gentle way to soften that pain, inspired by the Buddhist teachings. You will see that you don't have to carry the weight of someone else's actions forever. You will discover how to create space for peace in your heart, even when others act unkindly. This is a skill that can change your life, making every day lighter and more joyful. Stay with us as we explore this path together. Remember, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want to keep growing your inner strength. And please, write Namo Buddhaya below to keep the positive energy flowing right to the end. When someone hurts you, the very first moment after that pain strikes is the most important moment. It is like a fork in the road where your life can take two very different paths. One path leads to anger, bitterness, and a heavy heart. The other path leads to calmness, understanding, and peace. As your Zen guide, I invite you to pause and reflect with me on what happens in this first moment, and how your choice can change everything. Imagine the hurt like a small fire burning inside your chest. That fire is quick and hot. It wants your attention. It shouts for revenge or justice. It makes your mind race with angry thoughts. How dare they do this to me? Or I will never forgive them. This is a natural feeling. We all have it. It is part of being human. But this fire, if fed by anger, will grow and spread, consuming your peace and joy. What if, instead of feeding the fire, you simply watched it, without judging it, without trying to push it away, just seeing the heat, the flicker, and the smoke? The Buddha said that awareness is the beginning of freedom. When you watch the fire without feeding it, it will begin to soften. It may still be there, but it no longer controls you. This watching is not easy at first. The mind wants to react quickly. It wants to shout back, to protect itself. But true protection is not in fighting fire with fire. It is in becoming the calm earth beneath the flames. When you don't add fuel, the fire cannot grow. Many people think that when someone hurts them, they must respond with equal force. This idea has been passed down through generations. An eye for an eye, some say. But what does this really do? It does not heal. It only causes more hurt. The cycle continues. Hurt and more hurt, pain and more pain. In Zen, we learn that the first response to hurt is very important. It shapes what happens next. If you choose to respond with anger, you continue the cycle. If you choose to respond with calmness, you break the chain. This is not weakness. It is the greatest strength. You might wonder, how can I be calm when I feel so much pain? The answer lies in one simple truth. You are not your pain. Your pain is a feeling that comes and goes. It is like a cloud passing through the sky of your mind. The sky itself remains vast and clear. When you feel hurt, take a deep breath. Feel your body. Notice where the pain is strongest. Is in your chest, your head, your stomach? Instead of running away from this feeling, allow it to be there. Be with it like a gentle friend. This practice of presence is powerful. It helps you to not react automatically. You give yourself a moment, a sacred moment, to choose your response. In that moment, you can remember that the person who hurt you is also a human being. Like you, they have pain, fear, and confusion. Sometimes, people hurt others because they are hurting inside. This does not mean their action was right. It only means that pain often creates pain. When you hold this understanding softly in your heart, it becomes easier not to react with anger. You still feel your pain, but you do not give it the power to control your actions. The next step is very gentle. Choose silence over words that hurt back. Sometimes, saying nothing is the greatest strength. It shows that you are not willing to let the hurt grow bigger. Remember the story of the Zen master who was insulted by a visitor. The visitor called him harsh names, trying to provoke anger. The master simply smiled and replied, "You must be very tired today." This calm response confused the visitor. He expected anger, but found peace instead. The master chose to break the chain. You too can choose to be like that master. You do not have to prove anything to anyone. Your peace is more important than winning an argument or defending your pride. Another way to break the cycle is to practice patience. Patience is like a soft shield that protects your heart. When you feel the urge to react, remind yourself that this moment will pass. The pain will soften. Your anger will fade if you let it. Think about a river flowing. Sometimes, the water is rough and fast, stirred by stones and wind. But if you wait and do not fight the current, the river will calm again. Your mind is like that river. When you practice this calm patience often, it becomes easier to respond to hurt with kindness, not necessarily to the person who hurt you, but to yourself. You give yourself the gift of peace. In the quiet moments after being hurt, ask yourself, what does my heart need right now? What will bring me peace? Sometimes the answer is simply rest. Sometimes it is a walk in nature. Sometimes it is a quiet moment of meditation. Buddhism teaches that the mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of anger, the garden will be full of weeds. If you plant seeds of calm and understanding, beautiful flowers will grow. Your first response is the seed you plant. So, before you speak or act, take a breath. Watch your feelings. Choose your seed carefully. This does not mean you allow others to hurt you without protection. Setting healthy boundaries is important. But even boundaries can be set with calmness and respect, not with anger. When you practice this way, you start to see that you're not a victim of others' actions. You are the gardener of your own heart. You decide what grows there. The cycle of hurt and retaliation is very old, but you have the power to end it in your life. This is true freedom. As you walk through life, remember that peace begins with the first response. Every time you choose calm over anger, you build strength inside. You create a space where love and understanding can grow. The Buddhist said, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent to throw it at someone else. You're the one who gets burned. By breaking this cycle, you protect yourself from this burn. Practice this moment-to-moment awareness. When hurt comes, breathe. Watch your mind and body. Choose calm. Choose peace. In time, this will become your natural way. Your first response will no longer be fire but water, soft, clear, and healing. This is the beginning of real healing. When we look at the world around us, it is easy to think people hurt us on purpose. When someone says a cruel word or acts unkindly, we want to believe they mean harm. This is natural because our mind looks for reasons to explain pain. But as a Zen master, I ask you to pause and look deeper. What if the person who hurts you is not your enemy? What if they're simply lost in their own confusion and suffering? The Buddha taught us to see the truth beneath the surface. People act from causes and conditions, like waves rising and falling in the ocean. No wave can control the wind or the current. Likewise, no person is fully in control of all their thoughts and feelings. They are shaped by their past experiences, their fears, their pain. When they hurt you, it is often a reflection of what they carry inside, not a deliberate attack on you. Imagine a person walking in deep darkness. They may trip, stumble, and sometimes bump into others. They do not mean to cause harm, but their blindness makes their actions clumsy. You, who see the path clearly, may feel pain when bumped, but understanding their blindness brings patience, not anger. The same is true for every person we meet. Behind the anger, behind the harsh words, there is confusion, pain, and sometimes fear. This is the human condition. We all suffer in different ways. And sometimes, that suffering shows as hurting others, even if unintentionally. When you understand this, your heart begins to soften. Instead of sharpening your anger, you allow space for compassion. This does not mean you accept being hurt or that you forget your pain. It means you see the other person as a fellow traveler who is also struggling. You recognize that their actions come from a place of pain. The Buddha said that holding on to anger is like holding a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You're the one who burns. When we see clearly the causes behind hurtful actions, our anger begins to melt away. We feel lighter because we are not feeding the fire of resentment. Seeing clearly also means understanding impermanence. People change. Their feelings change. The harsh word that stings today may be forgotten tomorrow. Holding tightly to hurt keeps us stuck in one moment, but wisdom teaches us to let go and flow with life. In your daily life, you may meet many kinds of people, some kind, some difficult. When a difficult person hurts you, try to look beyond the surface. What fear or pain might be driving their behavior? This doesn't excuse bad actions, but helps you respond with wisdom rather than reaction. When you respond with wisdom, you protect your peace. You do not allow the suffering of others to become your suffering. This is not weakness, it is great strength. It is the strength of a calm mind and a heart that understands. Sometimes you might feel confused. You may ask, how can I stay calm when I feel so hurt? It is natural to feel hurt. Do not judge yourself for feeling pain. Instead, acknowledge it and gently remind yourself that this pain comes from the mind's reaction, not from the truth of who you are. You are more than the pain caused by others. You are the awareness that notices the pain. You are the silent space where feelings arise and pass away. When you rest in this awareness, hurt loses its power over you. Practice watching your thoughts like a calm lake watches falling leaves. When painful thoughts come, see them as leaves floating by. Do not grab them. Let them drift away. This simple practice changes everything. Remember, the person who hurts you is not your enemy. The true enemy is ignorance. Ignorance of the causes of suffering. When you understand this, your heart opens and you find peace. This way of seeing is not easy at first. It takes practice, but every time you choose to see clearly, you take a step toward freedom. Freedom from anger, freedom from pain, freedom from the cycle of hurt. In the quiet moments of your day, return to this awareness. Watch your mind and heart. Notice when anger rises and gently let it go. Remember, the person who hurt you is a human being, just like you, trying to find happiness in a confusing world. This understanding is the beginning of healing. It is the light that shines through the darkness of hurt. When you see clearly, your heart becomes like still water, reflecting peace even when storms pass above. So, do not rush to judge or react. Take a deep breath. See the true nature of the person before you, and see your true nature as well. In this moment of clear seeing, you find a space where hurt cannot take hold. This is the teaching of the Buddha, simple and profound, to see the world and others with eyes of wisdom and compassion. This is the path to peace. When you carry this understanding in your heart, you carry no heavy burden. You walk lightly, even when the world is harsh. Your peace is your strength. Let this truth settle deeply in you. Hurt is caused by many things outside of your control, but your peace comes from how you choose to see and respond. Look gently, listen deeply, and remember that beneath every harsh action is a heart that suffers. This clarity will guide you in every difficult moment. It will help you respond not with hurt, but with calmness. Not with anger, but with understanding. Not with pain, but with peace. In this way, the Buddha's wisdom lives in your life, not as a distant teaching, but as a quiet strength in your heart. When you see clearly, you are free. The fire of anger is something we all know. It burns quickly, and when it is lit, it seems to consume everything. When someone hurts us, it is natural for anger to arise. This fire can flare in an instant, hot, fierce, and blinding. But have you ever watched a fire closely? How it dances, how it moves, how it changes shape. Fire is never still. It grows and shrinks, it crackles, and it dies down. So too is our anger, not a fixed thing, but a living, moving energy inside us. When we are hurt, anger often comes as a response. It feels like a shield or a weapon. We want to protect ourselves, to fight back, to make the other person feel the same pain. Yet, the Zen way teaches us something different. It teaches us that fire is not our enemy, but our teacher. If we try to smother it or run from it, it only grows stronger. But if we watch it with calm eyes, if we see its true nature without fear, then we learn its secret. The secret is this: anger, like fire, is temporary. It is born from something, but it will die out if we do not feed it. It is born from pain, disappointment, or fear. It is the mind's way of crying out. When you feel the fire of anger rise inside you, do not rush to act. Instead, breathe, feel the heat, but do not burn yourself with it. Imagine sitting quietly beside a small fire on a cool night. You can feel its warmth, see its glow, but you do not need to throw more wood on it. You do not need to fan its flames. You just watch. You allow the fire to be, and in doing so, it begins to settle. So too with your anger. Many times, we let anger control us because we do not understand it. We believe it must lead to action, to words spoken, or to revenge. But sometimes, the greatest strength is found in stillness. In that stillness, the fire becomes less wild. It becomes a gentle warmth, a guide showing us what hurts most deeply. The fire shows us what we care about. If someone has hurt you, the anger you feel is not just about them. It is about something precious that has been touched. Perhaps it is your sense of respect, your trust, or your love. The fire burns there because you hold something dear. This is not wrong. It is part of being human. But the Zen master will tell you, do not let the fire burn your home. Do not let anger destroy the peace you have inside. Instead, bring the fire into the light of your awareness. Look at it closely. Ask yourself gently, why does this fire burn? What is it telling me? When you ask this, you begin to transform anger into wisdom. You begin to see clearly that anger is not the enemy, but a message. It is like a storm warning, not the storm itself. The storm passes, but if you prepare, you are safe. The Buddha taught that all things change. This includes our feelings. Anger, like the storm, will not last forever. It comes and goes. If you can hold this truth in your mind, you create space for peace. There is another secret. Anger often hides fear. When you feel anger, try to look deeper. What are you afraid of losing? Is it your dignity, your safety, or your sense of self? When you find a fear, meet it with kindness. Say to yourself, I see you. I am here. Fear and anger are close companions. When you face fear with kindness, anger begins to soften. The fire cools. This does not mean you must be weak. It means you are strong enough to see clearly, to hold the truth without being controlled by it. There is a story from Zen tradition. A student once asked the master, "How do I calm my anger when someone hurts me?" The master said, "Imagine you carry a hot coal in your hand. What happens?" The student said, "My hand will burn." The master replied, "Then why hold on to the coal? Let it go, and your hand will heal." This simple teaching is powerful. We often hold on to anger like a hot coal, thinking it protects us. But in truth, it harms us more than anyone else. When you hold anger, you suffer twice, once from the hurt, and again from the fire you keep alive inside. Learning to let go is not easy. The fire is tempting. It promises strength and power. But real power comes from peace, from clear seeing, and from kindness. When you choose not to throw fuel on the fire, you begin to live differently. The fire of anger can also be transformed into light. When you feel anger, you can use it to illuminate your path. Ask yourself, what does this anger show me about my needs? What can I learn from this pain? How can I grow? Anger can be a great teacher if we listen without fighting. When you learn to watch your anger without judgment, you begin to understand yourself deeply. You see patterns, triggers, and old wounds. You become a gentle witness to your own mind. This witnessing is the heart of Zen practice. It is simple but not easy. It requires patience. It requires courage. It requires trust that peace is possible even in the midst of fire. Sometimes, the best way to transform anger is to breathe deeply and come back to the present moment. Anger often lives in the past or the future, remembering what was said or fearing what might happen. But now, in this breath, you can find calm. When you bring your attention to your breath, the fire begins to lose its power. You are no longer the fire. You are the sky above it. The sky is calm, vast, and free. It does not hold onto the fire. It lets it burn out. Remember, no matter how fierce anger feels, it is not permanent. It will pass like all things, and when it passes, you will feel lighter, freer, and more whole. The practice is to keep returning to this truth again and again. When hurt comes, when anger rises, breathe, watch, and do not feed the fire. This is the way of wisdom. In time, you may even come to thank your anger. It has shown you what matters most. It has called you to pay attention. When you listen, you begin to heal. Healing does not mean forgetting or ignoring the hurt. It means seeing it clearly and choosing not to suffer more than necessary. It means standing strong in your peace, no matter what storms come. This is the power of transforming anger into wisdom. It is the power to live freely, to be kind without being weak, to protect your heart without building walls. The path is always before you, step by step. With each moment, you have a choice. To feed the fire or to watch it with calm eyes. To be consumed or to be free. You are not alone on this path. Every human heart knows fire and cold, hurt and healing. The Buddha's light shines on all of us, inviting us to awaken to peace. So, when you feel the fire of anger rise, do not fear it. Do not fight it. Instead, greet it as a friend who brings a message. Breathe, watch, and listen. And slowly, the fire will change. It will teach you how to be strong and gentle at the same time. This is the way of the Zen master and the teaching of the Buddha. To live fully with an open heart and to let the fire burn without burning you. When someone hurts you, it is natural for your heart to close, to shrink away from them, and to hold tightly to the pain they caused. This is how most people respond, because the pain feels sharp and our mind wants to protect itself. But I want to share with you a quiet truth, a gentle way of seeing the one who caused your hurt that can bring peace not only to your heart, but also to theirs. Imagine, for a moment, that the person who hurt you is like a traveler lost in a storm. The storm is their own suffering, fear, anger, confusion, or sadness. When someone acts in a way that causes pain, it is often because their heart is wounded. Behind their harsh words or cold actions is a story you cannot see. It is a story of hurt, loneliness, or fear. This does not excuse the pain they caused, but it offers us a path to understanding rather than to hatred. In Buddhism, we learn that all beings wish to be happy and free from suffering. Even those who cause harm are seeking this, though their way may be confused or misguided. When you hurt someone, the energy you send out may come back, just as the Buddha taught. But when you meet hurt with compassion instead of anger, you plant a seed of peace. This seed can grow into a calm garden in your mind, a refuge from suffering. Compassion is not weakness. It is a strength born from deep understanding. It does not mean you accept being hurt or allow harm to continue. Rather, it means you see the person who hurt you with eyes of kindness and recognize their pain too. You offer a silent prayer for their well-being, wishing for their heart to heal. When you practice compassion for those who hurt you, you begin to loosen the chains of resentment. Your heart, once heavy and tight, starts to open like a lotus flower unfolding to the morning sun. This opening creates space where peace can enter, where anger no longer has a home. This is not easy. The first time you try, your mind may resist. It may whisper, "They do not deserve this kindness." But if you listen carefully, you will find that the person who hurt you, beneath their actions, is also human, fragile, scared, and searching for love. The Buddha taught about metta, loving kindness, because he knew the power it holds. Metta is a gentle feeling that wishes safety, happiness, and peace for all beings, including those who have caused us pain. It is a way to break free from the cycle of hatred and retaliation. Think of metta as a warm light you carry inside. When you focus this light on yourself, it heals your wounds. When you send it toward the one who hurt you, it softens their harshness, like the sun melting a block of ice. To practice this, begin quietly in your heart. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, "May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be free from suffering." Then, slowly bring to mind the person who hurt you. You might say quietly, "May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you be free from suffering." Even if your heart feels heavy, try this. Do it gently without forcing. With time, this practice transforms your relationship with pain. You are no longer a prisoner of anger, but a gardener tending the soil of your soul. Compassion waters the seeds of kindness, patience, and understanding. It teaches you that hurt is a message, not a curse. When you hold compassion for the one who hurt you, you reclaim your power. You decide not to carry their burden anymore. You free yourself from being tangled in the web of pain they cast. This freedom is precious. It is the beginning of true healing. Sometimes you may feel anger rising like a fierce storm inside. This is natural. Do not judge yourself for it. Instead, watch the anger like a cloud passing in the sky. It will not last forever. Beneath the storm is the calmness of your true nature. Compassion helps you find that calm place again. Remember, compassion does not mean forgetting your boundaries. You can protect yourself firmly and kindly. Compassion is not about letting others walk over you. It is about holding your heart open, even when it is hard, and wishing well for all beings, including yourself. In this practice, patience is a great friend. Healing takes time. Some days, the pain will feel fresh. Other days, it will soften. Through it all, your steady compassion is like a gentle stream that shapes the hardest rock over time. Look closely at your own heart. Notice the places where you carry hurt or resentment. Can you breathe into those places with kindness? Can you let the light of compassion reach those dark corners? When you do this, your heart becomes like a vast sky, able to hold sunshine and storms without breaking. You become strong not by closing off, but by opening wide. And here is another beautiful teaching. By showing compassion to those who hurt us, we also heal the parts of ourselves that may cause pain to others. Sometimes, when we hurt, it is because we carry pain inside too. When we break the cycle with compassion, we help heal the world, one heart at a time. The path of compassion is a journey. It may be long and winding, but every step is a gift. You're learning not only to survive hurt, but to transform it into wisdom and peace. So when someone hurts you next time, pause. Remember their hidden story. Remember your own strength. And let compassion be your response. Not because it is easy, but because it is the way to true freedom. This is the heart of Buddhist wisdom, understanding pain, embracing compassion, and opening the door to lasting peace. When someone hurts you, it is natural to feel a sharp sting inside, like a sudden chill that moves through the body. Pain unsettles us. But to hold on to that pain, to clutch it tightly, is like holding a hot coal in your hand, hoping the other person will burn. The truth is, holding on to pain only harms you. Letting go is not easy, but it is the path to freedom. And this freedom is not about forgetting or pretending the hurt never happened. It is about releasing the weight so your heart can breathe again. Letting go does not mean you accept being hurt or allow harm to continue. It means you choose to stop feeding the pain inside. You choose to stop giving power to the words or actions that once cut deep. Imagine carrying a heavy bag filled with stones. Each stone is a painful memory, a harsh word, a moment of betrayal. The longer you carry it, the heavier your journey becomes. Letting go means setting down that bag. You do not need to throw the stones at the person who hurt you. You only need to free yourself. When your heart is full of pain, you may feel like holding on to it protects you. You may believe that keeping the hurt close will stop it from happening again. But this is an illusion. The truth is, pain held tightly grows inside. It twists and turns, creating anger, bitterness, and sorrow. It builds walls around your heart that block love, joy, and peace. Buddha taught that life is change. Nothing stays the same. Pain, too, is like a passing cloud. It comes, it stays for a while, and then it moves on. When you grasp pain tightly, you become like a tree shaken by a storm. You bend and break. But when you allow the pain to pass through like wind through the branches, you remain strong and rooted. Letting go is like learning to float on water. When you fight the waves, you tire and sink. But when you relax, trust, and float, the water carries you gently. In the same way, when hurt comes, do not fight it with anger or resentment. Feel it, acknowledge it, then let it flow out of you. How do you do this? The first step is breathing. When pain arises, stop. Take a deep breath in. Feel the air fill your body. Slowly breathe out. Let your mind become still. In this moment, you are not the pain. You are the space in which pain appears and disappears. This space is calm, quiet, and vast. Next, try to see the hurt with kindness. Imagine looking at the pain like a small child who is scared and crying. You do not shout at the child or push them away. You sit quietly, offer warmth, and say, "It is okay to feel hurt." When you treat your pain with kindness, it loses its sharp edges. At times, the person who hurt you may not understand the damage they caused. They may act from their own fears, confusion, or pain. This is not an excuse for their actions, but it is a way to soften the anger in your heart. When you realize that everyone struggles inside, it becomes easier to let go of blame. Remember, letting go is a practice, not a single act. Some days will be harder than others. Some moments, the pain may return like a wave. When this happens, do not judge yourself. Be gentle and return to your breath. With patience, each wave will become smaller and less powerful. Do not mistake letting go for weakness. It takes great strength to release the past and live peacefully. The mind often tells us that holding on to pain is proof of love, loyalty, or justice. But true strength is found in freedom, in choosing peace over conflict, and in opening your heart rather than closing it. Letting go also means setting boundaries. You can be kind and peaceful without allowing harm to continue. Saying no, walking away, or protecting yourself is part of the path. It is not about suffering in silence, but about choosing what nourishes your spirit and what drains it. When you let go, you create space for new things to grow. Joy can enter where bitterness once lived. Compassion can bloom where anger used to rule. Your heart becomes lighter, and your steps become freer. You learn to live with a quiet joy that does not depend on others, but rises from within. The Buddha said that holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent to throw it at someone else. You are the one who gets burnt. When you release anger and hurt, you free yourself from the fire. This freedom is the beginning of true peace. Imagine a river flowing past a fallen leaf. The leaf cannot stop the current. It can float, move with the water, or get caught on a rock. When you let go of hurt, you become like the leaf, moving with life's flow instead of resisting it. You find a quiet rhythm inside, no matter what storms come. Sometimes, it helps to speak your hurt softly, either to yourself or a trusted friend. Speaking releases the weight hidden inside, but do so without judgment or blame. Just share what is in your heart, and then gently close that chapter. Holding on to pain silently is like carrying a secret burden that grows heavier each day. In letting go, forgiveness is a companion, but it is not always necessary at first. Forgiveness may come later, when your heart feels ready. For now, focus on freeing yourself from suffering. The one who hurt you may never say sorry. You may never find justice, but you can find peace. It is important to understand that letting go is a gift to yourself. You are not forgetting the past, but you are choosing not to be trapped by it. Like a bird released from a cage, your heart can soar again. Each day, practice small acts of letting go. When you notice pain returning, take a breath, soften your mind, and remind yourself, I am not my pain. This will pass. Over time, this practice becomes natural. You live with more ease and more kindness toward yourself and others. Letting go does not erase the lessons learned. Instead, it honors those lessons by allowing you to move forward wiser and more gentle. The hurt becomes a teacher, not a prison. When you practice letting go, you become a source of peace for those around you. Your calmness invites others to find their own calm. You become a living example of how to respond to pain with grace. Remember, the path of letting go is a journey, not a destination. Be patient and loving with yourself as you walk it. Each step is progress. Each breath is a new beginning. So, when someone hurts you, do not carry their pain as your burden. Sit down, breathe deeply, open your heart to healing. In this way, you honor yourself and the life you are living. Imagine the wind blowing fiercely, shaking the branches of a tree. The branches may bend, they may sway, but the roots hold firm beneath the soil. So too, when life brings storms of anger, hurt, or pain, your true strength is in your inner stillness, the calm place deep within you that no storm can touch. Many people believe that peace means the absence of trouble. But real peace is not found by avoiding storms. It is found by learning to be like the roots of a tree, quiet, steady, and deeply connected to the ground beneath. When someone hurts you, your mind may rush to react. You may feel like shouting or withdrawing, like a tree shaking in the wind. But if you can find that quiet place inside, you begin to respond differently. Not with sharp words or cold silence, but with calm understanding. The heart of Zen is this. Do not try to stop the waves of feelings. Let them come. Watch them. Feel them. But do not be swept away. When anger rises, do not chase it or push it away. See clearly like watching clouds in the sky. Notice how it appears and disappears, how it changes shape and color, but it never stays forever. In the same way, your painful emotions are temporary. They are visitors, not your home. When the mind is still, it is like a pond untouched by wind. The surface reflects the world clearly. No ripples, no distortion. From that stillness comes clarity. You begin to see that hurt is not a prison, but a message. It tells you where you have been wounded and where your compassion can grow. This does not mean you must accept pain without care. It means you see the pain without adding stories that make it worse. Many times we suffer because we hold tightly to what should have been, what someone else should have done, or what we expect from life. These attachments cause ripples in the pond of the mind. The Zen way is to loosen your grip, to hold life gently like a bird in your hand, strong enough to keep it safe, but soft enough to let it fly free. In practice, inner stillness begins with simple breathing. When harsh words or actions hit you, pause. Take a deep breath. Feel the air entering your body and leaving. This breath is your anchor. It reminds you that no matter the storm outside, you have a place of calm inside. You do not need to fight every battle. Sometimes, the greatest strength is in simply being present. As you breathe, notice the sensations in your body. Is your chest tight? Are your hands clenched? Can you soften those places just a little? You don't have to push away your feelings. Just allow them to be. When you accept what is, you stop feeding the fire of anger or sadness. You become a witness to your own experience. The Buddha taught that all things change. This is called impermanence. Just as the wind does not blow forever, neither does pain or anger stay forever. When you remember this truth deeply, it helps you relax. The storm will pass. You will be whole again. In this stillness, you can also connect with kindness, first to yourself, then to others. When someone hurts you, they act from their own pain and confusion. This does not excuse harmful actions, but it invites you to respond not with harm, but with gentle strength. Compassion does not mean weakness. It is the power to see beyond the moment and understand the heart of suffering. Sometimes, people think forgiving means forgetting or pretending nothing happened. But forgiveness in Zen is more about freeing yourself. It means releasing the heavy weight of anger so you can stand tall and breathe freely. The other person may never change, but you can choose your peace. This choice is your power. When you practice stillness, you also learn patience. The wound inside may not heal overnight. Some days are easier than others. That is okay. Each breath, each moment of calm, is a step toward healing. Like a river carving a path through stone, gentle persistence shapes your mind. You may wonder, how can I find a stillness when life is so noisy? Begin with small moments. When you wake up, sit quietly for a few breaths. When you feel overwhelmed, pause and breathe. When the world feels heavy, remember the roots of the tree, deep, strong, and silent beneath the storm. Life's difficulties are not here to break you, but to teach you how to grow stronger inside. The pain of being hurt is real, but it does not have to define you. When you find your inner stillness, you find your true home, a place of peace no one can take away. This stillness is always with you. It is the space between your thoughts, the calm before the next breath. You do not need to seek it far away. It is right here, waiting for you to notice. In time, this practice of stillness transforms your life. You become less reactive and more peaceful. You see people and situations with fresh eyes, free from the weight of past hurts. You carry yourself with quiet confidence because your peace does not depend on the outside world. Remember, the wind may blow, the storm may rage, but the roots hold firm. When you are rooted in stillness, no hurt can shake you deeply. So, when someone hurts you next time, do not run from your feelings. Do not push them away. Breathe. Feel. Be still. In this stillness, you will find the strength to heal, to forgive, and to move forward with grace. Let the storm pass. Let the silence grow. Find your roots in the earth of your being and know you are safe, you are whole, you are free. Come, sit. Let the noise of the world fade for a moment. Today, I will not give you teachings with sharp words or long explanations. I will simply share stories, quiet stories, old and patient, passed down through time like a river that never forgets where it began. Long ago, the Buddha was insulted by a man filled with anger. The man shouted, cursed, and tried to break the calm of the enlightened one. But the Buddha stood still, like a tree that does not sway with a passing breeze. After a while, he gently said, if someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong? The man, confused, said, to the one who offered it. The Buddha smiled softly, exactly. I do not accept your anger. It remains with you. This is a story I have held in my heart for many years. It is not about silence. It is about strength. There is great strength in not picking up what was never yours to carry. When someone tries to hurt you with their words or actions, they are offering something. But you do not have to take it. You do not have to hold it close to your chest and feed it every day. You can leave it where it was given. You can walk past it with your peace untouched. There was once a monk who carried a heavy woman across a muddy path. She did not thank him. She did not speak kindly. But the monk said nothing. He set her down and walked on. Later, another monk said, "Why did you carry her? She was rude." The first monk smiled. "I put her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" That is the way of many people. They carry pain long after it is gone. They hold on to stories that no longer serve them. They keep turning the same sharp memory in their minds, like a stone in their hands that cuts deeper each time. But you do not have to live this way. You can set it down. You can release what is heavy. Just because someone was unkind does not mean you must suffer every day because of it. That is a choice. And you, dear one, are free to choose differently. When someone hurts us, it is easy to believe the pain will never end. But remember this, even the deepest wounds heal. Even the fiercest storms pass. You do not have to force healing. You only need to stop picking at the wound. Let it breathe. Let it rest. Some will say, "But if I forgive, they will win." No, forgiveness is not for them. It is for you. Forgiveness is the moment you stop drinking the poison they handed you. Forgiveness is the quiet power of saying, "I choose peace, not pain." There's a story of a woman who came to the Buddha, her heart broken by grief. Her child had died. She begged the Buddha to bring her child back. He said, "Find me a mustard seed from a house where no one has lost someone." She searched for days, but found none. Everyone had lost someone. Everyone carried sorrow. And in that truth, she found peace. She saw that suffering is part of life, but clinging to it is not. So it is with hurt. You're not the only one who has been wounded. We all have been, but not all choose to keep bleeding. Some learn to close the wound and live fully again. I once met a man who had been insulted by his own brother for years. He never fought back. I asked him why. He said, "I look at him and I see his suffering. I see how tight his chest is, how his hands shake with bitterness. Why would I add more fire to his fire? I want to be water, not oil." This is the wisdom we forget. Those who hurt us are often hurting more than we know. They act out their pain because they have no peace inside. But we do not have to mirror them. We can reflect something else. When a mirror is clean, it reflects clearly. When your heart is calm, it reflects truth. You do not need to scream back. Your silence could be your greatest voice. Your peace can be your loudest answer. So breathe. Sit with me now in stillness. Let's not react. Let us respond with clarity, with calm, with wisdom. This is the path the Buddha walked, and we can walk it too. Not all will understand your calm. Some may mistake your peace for weakness. Let them. You are not here to prove anything to anyone. You are here to be free. And freedom begins not when others stop hurting you, but when you stop letting their hurt live inside you. You may still feel pain, but now you know how to meet it differently. You may still face hurt, but now you know you can choose peace over reaction. You are not a prisoner of anyone's cruelty. You are the keeper of your own heart. And now, as we come to the end of this part, I ask you, what will you carry forward? Will you carry the insult, or will you carry the lesson? Will you hold the anger, or will you hold the wisdom? You have a choice. You always did. Choose peace, not because they deserve it, but because you do. Let us sit in quiet for a moment longer, breathing in, breathing out, and letting go. The next time someone hurts you, remember, you do not have to carry it. Just let it pass, like a cloud, like a breeze, like a story that no longer belongs to you. Imagine a leaf falling gently from a tree. It does not resist the wind. It does not fight the season. It simply lets go and moves with the flow. This leaf teaches us something very important. Everything in life is always changing. Nothing stays the same forever. The pain you feel now, the hurt you carry in your heart, will also change. It may feel heavy, but it is not permanent. In life, many of us want things to remain as they are. We want the person who hurt us to say sorry. We want the pain to disappear quickly. We want the past to be different. But this desire to hold on to how things should be only causes more suffering. When we accept that change is natural and inevitable, we open the door to healing. Buddhism calls this truth impermanence. Everything you see, feel, and experience is moving, flowing, and transforming every moment. The sadness you have today will fade. The anger you feel will soften. Even your thoughts and feelings about the one who hurt you are not fixed. They shift like clouds in the sky. When you embrace impermanence, you learn to live with your pain without being trapped by it. You allow it to come and go, just like the weather. Sometimes the sky is dark with storm clouds, and other times it is bright with sunshine. Both are part of the journey, and both will pass. This is not to say that your feelings are unimportant. On the contrary, they are real and deserve your attention. But it is important to see them as passing visitors, not as permanent guests. When you watch your feelings this way, without clinging or pushing them away, you create space inside yourself. This space is freedom. Many people believe that healing means forgetting or ignoring their pain. But healing is not about erasing your memories or pretending everything is fine. Healing means changing your relationship with pain. It means seeing it clearly, understanding its nature, and letting it transform you. Imagine a river flowing over stones. The water does not stop at the stones. It moves around them, over them, shaping them softly over time. Your pain is like one of those stones. It shapes you, but it does not have to stop your life's flow. You can learn to flow around your pain, carrying its lessons without being held back by it. In the Buddhist teaching, suffering is often compared to waves on the ocean. Sometimes the waves are big and violent, and sometimes they are small and gentle. But the ocean itself is vast and calm beneath the waves. Your true nature is like that ocean, deep, steady, and peaceful. When you remember this, you can face your pain with courage. It is natural to feel afraid of change because change means uncertainty. When someone hurts you, it may feel like your world is breaking apart. But actually, change brings new possibilities. It invites you to grow and become stronger. It opens the door to new understanding and compassion. You may ask, how do I practice this in daily life? How do I accept change when my heart is still aching? The answer is simple, but not always easy. Start by noticing the small changes around you. Watch the sunrise, the seasons, your own breath. Feel how life is always moving. This helps your mind become softer and more open. When painful feelings arise, try to observe them quietly. Don't push them away or hold on too tightly. Let them come like waves, and let them go like waves retreating back to the sea. This practice is called mindfulness. It teaches you to be present with your pain without being overwhelmed. In time, this gentle attention changes your experience. Pain no longer controls you. Instead, you become the calm observer who watches the passing storms. This does not mean you become cold or uncaring. It means you have found a way to be kind to yourself and your suffering. The more you practice embracing impermanence, the more you realize that your pain is a teacher. It teaches you patience, understanding, and strength. It teaches you the true meaning of compassion, not only for others but for yourself. When you hurt, it is easy to close your heart and protect yourself from further pain. But the path of healing invites you to open your heart gently. This is not a weakness, it is a great courage. It takes courage to face your pain and say, I see you, I accept you, I will not let you define me. Remember, the people who hurt you are also part of this changing world. They have their own pain and struggles, even if they do not show it. By understanding impermanence, you can begin to feel compassion for them, not because they deserve it, but because we all share the same human experience. Holding on to anger or resentment keeps you chained to the past. Letting go through acceptance of change frees your spirit. It gives you a new beginning, a chance to live more fully, with peace and joy. When you feel ready, try this simple practice. Sit quietly and breathe. With each breath, remind yourself, this too shall pass. Say it slowly and gently. Let the words sink in. Feel the truth in them. This moment of peace will grow inside you, becoming a refuge you can return to whenever life is hard. Healing is not a race or a destination. It is a path walked step by step. Some days will be easier than others. Some days the pain may return stronger. But each time you remember impermanence, you take one more step toward freedom. The leaf does not fight the wind. It surrenders gracefully and becomes part of something bigger. Like that leaf, you too can learn to let go. You can trust life's flow and find peace even when things are not perfect. Your heart is not broken beyond repair. It is simply changing and growing. Allow yourself to be patient and gentle. You are never alone on this path. The Buddha's wisdom is always here to guide you, like a quiet light in the darkness. So, as you walk through your days, carry this truth with you. Everything changes. Pain changes. People change. You change. And in this constant change, there is hope, healing, and the possibility of deep peace. When you are hurt, it is natural to feel pain. That pain can seem heavy, like a stone inside your chest. You might want to hold on to it to protect yourself from being hurt again. But listen carefully. This stone does not have to stay inside you forever. There's a way to turn that wound into something that helps you grow, something that makes you stronger. In the beginning, hurt is like a dark cloud. It covers your sky, and you cannot see the sun. But that cloud is not permanent. It moves. It changes. If you watch it with patience, you will see the light come back again and again. In that light, the wound begins to heal. And in that healing, there is wisdom. The Buddha said that suffering is part of life. But he also taught that suffering can be understood and transformed. When someone causes you pain, your heart may close like a door. It shuts tight to keep out the hurt. But if you hold that door closed forever, you trap yourself inside. You miss the fresh air of peace and kindness. The wound can become a teacher, but only if you open that door a little. To open the door, you must first look gently at your pain. This is not easy. The pain can be sharp and frightening, like a wild animal. But the more you watch it, the less scary it becomes. When you watch without fear, you begin to see that the pain is not the whole story. It is a part, yes, but not all of who you are. Imagine a great tree. Sometimes the wind breaks a branch. That branch falls, and the tree looks damaged. But the tree does not die. Instead, it grows new branches, new leaves, and becomes even stronger over time. Your hurt is like that broken branch. It may feel like a loss, but it can also be the start of new growth inside you. This new growth comes from understanding. When you feel hurt, ask yourself, what can this pain teach me? How can this experience help me become more patient, more kind, more aware? When you look for the lesson in the pain, it loses some of its power to hurt you. It is not about blaming yourself or pretending the pain does not exist. It is about facing it honestly and gently, and then choosing what you will do next. You may choose to forgive, not to say what happened was right, but to say you will not carry this heavy burden any longer. Forgiveness is like setting down a heavy bag you have carried for too long. When you forgive, you do not erase the past, but you make space in your heart for peace and joy again. This is how a wound turns into wisdom. The hurt does not disappear completely, but it changes its shape. It becomes something that helps you walk more lightly, with more compassion for yourself and others. Sometimes, turning hurt into strength means being patient with yourself. Healing does not happen all at once. It is a slow process like the gentle growth of a flower. You water with kindness and you wait. Some days will be harder than others. That is natural, but keep returning to the practice of watching your pain with kindness. This alone softens the hardest moments. Another way the wound teaches wisdom is by deepening your compassion for others. When you know what it feels like to be hurt, your heart opens to the suffering of those around you. You see them not as enemies or obstacles, but as fellow travelers on a difficult path. This understanding makes your responses gentler, and your presence more healing. This is the great paradox of life. The very thing that causes pain can also lead to the greatest growth. The wound opens the door to your own strength if you allow it. It is like the cracks in a clay pot. The light shines through those cracks, making the pot beautiful and unique. Do not rush this journey. Sometimes, you may feel like retreating into anger or sadness. These feelings are part of being human. But remember, you always have the choice to come back to calmness, to open your heart again, and to learn from what life brings. When someone hurts you, Your first feeling may be to fight back or to close off. But the Zen way asks you to pause and breathe, to sit quietly with your feelings without rushing, to watch the storm inside without fear. This patience is itself a strength. Over time, this practice of gentle attention changes your whole being. The wound no longer controls your mind or your days. Instead, you carry the wisdom of your experience like a light in your chest. That light guides you through future challenges with grace and peace. Your strength does not come from avoiding pain. It comes from meeting pain with a heart that is brave enough to open, kind enough to forgive, and wise enough to see beyond the moment. This strength is quiet but powerful. It does not shout or demand. It simply is. In this way, every hurt becomes a step on the path to awakening. Every wound is a chance to practice love, for yourself and for the world. When you learn this, your life becomes a river flowing steadily toward freedom. So, when you feel hurt, do not run away from the pain. Welcome it as a visitor who brings a message. Sit with it patiently. Ask what it wants to teach you. And slowly, you will see the beauty hidden inside the hurt. This is the teaching of the Buddha, passed down through centuries. It is not a quick fix, but a gentle path of transformation. By walking this path, you turn your deepest wounds into your greatest wisdom. When we carry hurt inside us, it is like carrying a heavy stone in our pocket. This stone may seem small at first, but with time, it grows heavy, weighing us down. We try to hide it, but the weight pulls on our shoulders, slows our steps, and clouds our mind. Imagine for a moment what life would be like if you could set that stone down. What if you could simply release it without fear, without anger, without regret? What would it feel like to walk freely again? In the quiet moments of your day, when no one is watching, ask yourself this: what keeps me chained to the pain of being hurt? Often, the answer is forgiveness. But forgiveness is not as simple as it sounds. It is not about forgetting what happened, nor is it about pretending the pain did not exist. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, a chance to be free from the prison of suffering. The Buddha once taught that holding on to anger is like holding on to a burning coal, expecting someone else to be hurt by it. But the coal burns your own hand. When someone hurts us, we have two choices. We can hold on to the hurt tightly, letting it burn inside, or we can open our hand and let the coal fall away. To forgive is to open your hand gently. It is a decision to no longer let the pain control your heart. Forgiveness does not mean you approve of what happened. It means you choose peace over suffering. It means you recognize that the other person, like you, is imperfect and human. They too carry their own pain and confusion, which cause them to hurt you. When you forgive, you free yourself. You stop being a prisoner of the past. You stop being a victim to the actions of others. Instead, you become the master of your own peace. This is the true power of forgiveness. It is not about them. It is about you. Freedom is not something that comes from outside. It is not given by others, nor is it found in material things. True freedom arises from within. It grows when you let go of resentment, anger, and the desire to control what is already past. It blooms when your heart becomes lighter and your mind clearer. Many people believe that forgiving means weakness, but in truth, forgiveness is one of the greatest strengths a person can have. It takes courage to face the pain, to look honestly at your hurt, and to say, I will not let this control me anymore. Forgiveness is a practice of the brave. Living freely means learning to accept what is. It means understanding that you cannot change the past, but you can choose how to live now. You can choose to carry love instead of hate, kindness instead of bitterness, peace instead of turmoil. The Buddha's path is a path of freedom. It teaches us to see clearly the nature of suffering and to find ways to end it. When you forgive, you take one step closer to that freedom. You stop feeding the fire of anger and instead bring cool water to soothe the wound. Sometimes forgiveness takes time. It does not happen overnight. You may need to return to your feelings again and again, gently, without judgment. You may feel anger rise up many times, and that is okay. The practice is not about perfection. It is about patience and kindness toward yourself. Imagine your heart as a garden. Hurt and anger are like weeds that choke the flowers. Forgiveness is the gardener who patiently pulls out the weeds. The flowers do not bloom all at once, but with care, the garden becomes a place of beauty and peace. Remember, forgiving others does not mean you must forget the lessons learned. Wisdom grows when we reflect on our pain and use it to build stronger boundaries. Forgiveness does not mean allowing others to hurt you again. It means freeing yourself from the burden of past wounds while walking forward with clear eyes and a calm heart. When you live freely, you no longer carry the weight of bitterness. You live in the present moment, open to joy and peace. You respond to life with calmness rather than reaction. You understand that every person you meet is fighting their own battle, just as you are. This freedom brings great peace. It allows you to breathe deeply without fear, to sleep soundly without worry, and to walk through the world with light steps. When you forgive, you give yourself the space to grow, to heal, and to be whole. The practice of forgiveness is not always easy. Sometimes, it may feel like you're giving more than you receive. But remember, this giving is to yourself. It is a daily act of compassion toward your own heart. In every moment you choose forgiveness, you plant a seed of freedom. With time, these seeds grow into a strong tree that shelters you from the storms of life. This tree is your inner peace. Living freely means you no longer let the actions of others shape your happiness or your sorrow. You become the gardener of your own mind and heart. You water the roots of kindness and cut away the branches of anger. Know this, you have the power to free yourself. No one else can do this for you. It is your journey, and it begins with one simple choice: to forgive and to live free. When you practice this, you begin to see that hurt is temporary, but peace is lasting. You begin to walk the path of the Buddha, the path of wisdom and compassion. This path leads you not away from the world, but deeper into it, with open eyes and a loving heart. Let your heart be soft but strong. Let your mind be clear but kind. This is the freedom of forgiveness. Now, as we come to the last part of our journey together, let us pause and reflect deeply. The path we have walked through pain, anger, forgiveness, and healing brings us here to a place of freedom. True freedom is not something outside of you. It is the gentle strength that arises when you let go. Imagine a bird held tightly in your hand. If you squeeze it too hard, it cannot fly. But if you open your palms softly and release it, the bird can soar freely into the sky. So too, when you hold tightly to hurt and anger, you bind your own heart. But when you open your heart with courage and let go, you allow yourself to fly beyond suffering. This is the strength of letting go. It does not mean forgetting what happened or pretending the pain was never real. It means choosing not to carry that pain like a heavy stone on your back. It means understanding that holding on to bitterness only chains you to the past. When you release that chain, you step into the present moment with open hands and a calm mind. Many people believe that to be strong is to fight back or to protect themselves by keeping their guard up. But real strength is quiet. It is the soft voice inside that says, "I will not be broken by this." It is the deep knowing that peace is more powerful than anger, that kindness can heal wounds that no sword can. The Buddha taught that suffering is part of life, but how we respond to suffering is where our freedom lies. When someone hurts you, it is natural to feel pain. Yet, that pain is not your prison unless you make it so. You can learn to transform pain into wisdom. You can learn to greet hurt with understanding and compassion. Remember, the one who hurt you is also walking their own path, carrying their own burdens. This does not excuse unkindness, but it invites you to see the situation with wider eyes. When you understand that everyone struggles, you begin to soften your heart, not for their sake alone, but for your own peace. Letting go is like cleaning a dusty window. When the dust settles, light can shine through. Your mind becomes clearer and your heart lighter. The fire of anger cools, replaced by calm and gentle warmth. You begin to live again, not trapped in old wounds, but free in the moment. This freedom is a gift you give yourself. No one can take it away unless you allow them. You are the master of your own peace. When you practice letting go, you create a space inside where joy can grow, even if outside circumstances are difficult. Forgiveness is not about weakness or forgetting. It is a powerful act of kindness toward yourself. It frees you from carrying a heavy burden. It allows you to open your heart without fear, and it invites you to live fully with courage and grace. As you practice this, you will notice something wonderful happen. The pain that once seemed so sharp will soften. Your heart will heal, and in that healing, you will find new strength, strength that comes from love, not from anger, from understanding, not from blame. You will see that life is a river, always flowing. Sometimes the water is calm, sometimes rough. You cannot control the river, but you can learn to float with it. You can learn to move with the currents, trusting that each moment is new and fresh. Let go of the past. Let go of the anger and the hurt. Let go of the need to be right or to seek revenge. This does not mean you accept harm, but that you refuse to be trapped by it. This is your true power. Practice this every day. When someone hurts you, breathe deeply. Feel the pain, but do not hold on to it. Imagine placing it gently down like a leaf on a stream. Watch it float away. Return your mind to peace. Know that peace does not mean you are alone or weak. It means you are strong enough to be gentle with yourself and with others. It means you live with an open heart, free from the chains of old wounds. Thank you for walking this path with me. Remember the lessons of kindness, patience, and letting go. Carry them with you always. Now, before we end, I invite you once more. Like this video if it touched your heart. Share it with someone who may need to hear these words today. Subscribe to Wisdom Woven so you can continue growing peace in your life. And please, write Namo Buddha in the comments below to keep this light and positive energy flowing till the very end. May you walk gently in the world, free and peaceful. May your heart be light. May you find the strength in letting go.